know?
Do you know what Gwaan is?
I am a big fan of Gwaan.
You get to learn a new Jamaican patois word or even a Jamaican phrase.
I'm always looking forward for the great vibes, the great things. They discuss a lot of things that are going on in Calgary, across Canada, and of course Jamaica. So I encourage
what is going on in Jamaica. But check out what a Gwaan. Watch what a Gwaan.
It's very interactive. You learn a lot, and great vibes, great music.
Watch what a Gwaan.
Relevant and entertaining. So keep up the good work.
Watch what a Gwaan.
Tune in, share, listen to what a Gwaan.
Watch what a Gwaan.
Big up yourself. What a Gwaan. 2022. Bless you.
Greetings, beautiful people. What a Gwaan, what a Gwaan. My name is King Shadrach, and tonight I'm your host on the program What a Gwaan. I'm the host with the most. I'm gonna brag, I'm gonna boss. All right. Now tonight we have a beautiful, beautiful program tonight, full of excitement. We're gonna have some talking, and we also have the word of the day is gonna be a beautiful part of the day. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself to you. My name is King Shadrach. I'm a reggae artist, originally born and grew from Montego Bay, Jamaica, St. James. Moved to Canada a while back. Now I'm living in Montreal, Quebec. Yeah, so that I go on. So, pick up a little French here and there. If you want to check out some of my music, you can always go to kingshadrachmusic.com. That's my website. You can hear some more about what kind of music we sing, roots music. Why am I here? I'm also affiliated with Jamaican Association of Montreal. So we work closely with the cultural event and current events with Montreal. Because the Jamaica Association of Montreal is a piece of Jamaica in Canada, right? So we have different Jamaica associations across Canada. So this is why we try to bring you information that's happening in regards to Jamaican Canadians living here, because you hear news about Jamaica, and then you hear news about Canada. So we're bringing you Jamaican Canadian news. All right. So like I said, my name is King Shadrach, and I'm the most. And I want you guys to be more interactive per se. Hit us up on the social media, with upon Facebook, with upon YouTube also, right? Just send me a link. Ask us some question, be interactive. Just let us know that you're there, all right? Let us know that you're here, because if you have some news event, you can tell us about it also in your area in Canada, all right? So today, we're going to introduce the patois word of the day. And the patois word of the day is white squad. Now, I don't know, a lot of people walk around and say, boy, me a Jamaican, we know about Jamaican, but enough people don't even never heard the word white squad. So before we go no further, I got to tell you a thing. In a Jamaica, almost every Jamaican at one point in time go through white squad, right? So you ever been hungry and your mouth kind of white, and so that's called white squall. So when a man say, boy, white squall, I kill him, he mouth white. You want him mouth white because he's hungry. You want some sugar and water. You want something to eat. Okay, so that's the word of the day. I want somebody to write in and use the word white squall in a sentence for us. Okay? Because I remember one day I come from school and I say, I'm hungry. I tell him I'm hungry, nearly dead. White squall nearly kill me is a good thing. So I broke my virgin and give me some sky juice and piece of bulla. So him saved me from white squall for kill me. See? So that's my use of the word white squall. So when you guys get a chance, please type in, write us how you would use the word white squall. If you've ever used the word white squall before, let me know if today is the first time you've heard about the word white squall. All right. So now we're gonna do a little recap of last week, because last week was a very interesting story. We talk about has Black Lives BLM movement advanced the cause of blacks in Canada. You know, we spoke with Constable Allen, and if you missed that show, you can go check it out on our YouTube page. It's YouTube What a Gwaan YouTube page. If you missed it, it was a very interesting subject. We get a chance to sit down and listen and learn and understand what a Gwaan in the system here with the Black Lives Matter movement. And let us hear from you. Let us hear what you think about that. Go check it out. Go watch it. We are LinkedIn, we're upon YouTube, we're upon Instagram, and we're upon Facebook. See, it's our stories and our experience. And remember, the show is called What a Gwaan. All right. Okay. So before we're gonna further, we're gonna go into some news and features. Okay, we're going on to some events that's going to be going on in and around the city. Okay, so Saturday, March the 5th, 2022 at 5 p.m., the JCAA Games Night is going to include in some snacks, prizes. So they're asking you to come out and join at the JCAA building. That's number 611 3208 8th Avenue, Calgary, Alberta, Northeast. All right. Tell them say King Shadrach send you from What a Gwaan. Make sure you make it a date and don't be late. And over here on my side in Montreal, the Caribbean Coalition Network, Montreal present celebrating national heroes and heroines. All right. You have to make sure you check out this one. Make it a date and don't be late. This is going to be Sunday, in the 27th of February. At 4 p.m. Log in, Zoom registration. You can go to celebratingbhm.eventbrite.ca. All right. So make sure you come out, represent your flag, represent your people, represent where you come from. That's the Caribbean Coalition Network of Montreal. Make it a date and don't be late. And also, we're going to have in Montreal, we have the Reggae Symposium from the Jamaica Association. We're going to have a lot of special guests there. We're going to have special guests from Jamaica, special guests from Canada. We're going to have featuring, I'm going to highlight the reggae music of how reggae came over the years, the evolution of reggae. It's been 60 years now since we've been independent. So we're going to do showcases. I myself, as an artist living in Montreal, I'm going to be performing on that show also. So it's going to be a beautiful show. You can stream it online, or you can come check out the show. All right. So it's Reggae Symposium, the 60th anniversary of Jamaican independence, February the 26th, Saturday, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Make it a date and do not be late. Yeah. All right. So now we're talking about over in Toronto. The JCA Women's Committee presents Women Recognizing Women. It's a 22nd annual International Women's Day event. It deals with women who inspire change, you know, strong women who inspire change. And so it's going to be an award celebration. Okay. So it's on March the 13th, Sunday, from 2 to 3:30 p.m. There's going to be live performances. You can also stream it live on their Facebook. Okay. So make it a date and don't be late. Make sure you check it out. Women who inspire change is an awards and celebration. Tell them I said you're supposed to come there. All right. Now, IRL Fest. Check this out. IRL Fest, ladies and IRL Winter Fest from March 3 to 6. Artists, bands, music. Yeah, and that was IRL Fest. Seen from March the 3rd to the 6th. IRL Winter Fest. And it's going to be at 276 Main Street parking lot, Steinbeck. Make sure you make it a date out there. It's going to be 3 shows per day. Tickets are now available on Eventbrite. And you can go to iralfest.com. iralfest.com. So it's all about the March the 3rd to the 6th. It's IRL Winterfest 2022. Make it a date and don't be late. Steinbeck up there over in Manitoba. Tell the people them say over What a Gwaan on the ear. Say it a Gwaan. Okay? Tonight we're gonna have a beautiful show, ladies and gentlemen. Really It's a very interesting show. We're going to be talking about the economic and civic influence of Jamaicans in the diaspora. Our guests will be Captain Kevin Jr. and Professor Sylvanus Thompson. Okay, so that's going to be on the Gwaan program. Before we go any further, let me elaborate again. We would like for you to guys, we want to support. We want you to type in, write in, send us a message. Actually, send us a video too and tell us Gwaan. Say Gwaan. Say, yo, me love Gwaan, right? We're waiting. We would like to hear from you. Same? Send it the video. We'll put it on live before we start in the show and during the show. Gwaan. We want to hear about Gwaan from you. Okay? So listen, right about now, we want to take a little time to reason. Okay? So it's a reasoning time. I'm going to introduce you to a very good friend of mine. Okay? He is greetings, brother.
King Shadrach.
Yes.
Yes, my brother.
Gwaan, sir.
Yes, White Squad, they'll kill you.
White Squall in the killing region. I'm going to get some sky juice and piece of bola. I'm lady dead.
But Sky Juice can't treat
With
White
piece of
Squad,
bola,
brother.
with piece of bola. Let me tell you something. And when you're hungry, a source of water alone can't do it. If a little bit of syrup up on top of the water, you feel like you eat. That means saying, if you don't know that, you don't know White Squall.
Yes, you need some syrup for break the White Squad.
Something for bring it up back, you understand? Yeah, and piece of bola cake. Half a bola back.
Well, listen, there are a lot of people who go through White Squall and all kinds of things, and then them achieve greatness, not true?
Yes, because we understand the struggle. We understand, we know what it feels like to not have. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
So we don't want, sometimes it's a place like that we don't want to go back to, right?
All right, I hear you, brother. I hear you.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
so I go. We're going to have a little reasoning, right? We're going to have a little reasoning. I'm going to come back later and talk to you a little bit more.
All right, sir.
All right, folks. Welcome again to Time to Reason, and it's good to have you with us. Today we're going to talk about the economic and civic contributions of Jamaicans in the diaspora. And I have two awesome guests coming to share their experience. I have Captain Kevin Jr., who spent nearly 3 decades with the Canadian Armed Forces and today continues his work in the area of security. He serves as, what's this now? As the serving officer with the Canadian Armed Forces, and he's done a number of things. He's won a number of awards, including the Order of Military Merit. He has also been awarded the Harry Jerome Professional Excellence Award. This in addition to serving as the security representative for the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, right? And we're going to hear the captain here in a little bit. We also have the professor, Dr. Sylvanus Thompson, noted for his service in public health, a number of degrees and certificates and all of that. But maybe most notable is that he's somebody who has been recognized for his contribution to environmental health. He's the recipient of the Governor General of Jamaica Diaspora Award of Excellence. He's also been recognized by the Jamaica Diaspora and Friends through the Champions Award for Dedicated Service. And he's also been recognized by the Ontario government with the Ontario Government Award for Excellence in Service to the Community. So 2 awesome Jamaicans who have done human service representing us. I'm going to bring them on to talk to us here on Gwaan. The captain and the professor. Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Gwaan.
Yeah, bless up, Donovan, and thanks for the opportunity to talk about Gwaan still.
Donovan, Sylvanus, listen, Donovan, you have me sitting beside this man here, and this is just a blessing.
Yeah, that's a blessing. Before we get into the serious conversation, even though this serious, and maybe Doc, White Squall, that ever happened to you?
The most. I'm from rural Jamaica, right from Clarendon, place called Victoria, just outside Thompson Town. So most time I tell people I have my own town. So I
Yeah.
used to walk, I used to walk to catch a bus at Thompson still, and sometimes where I come from school late. Trust me, the white squad, I know about that.
White squad beat you, Captain. That happened to you?
Listen, in preparation for the chat, we went upstairs and we had a piece of hardwood bread with some butter.
That's a fit for break the white squad. That's funny. All right, listen. Both of you gentlemen have, spent some time here in Canada, and the diaspora is a part of, I'm going to say a part of you, because I know both of you and the contributions you've made. Maybe let's start the conversation a little bit about the contribution, some of the things that you have seen as it relates to Jamaicans in the diaspora contributing from a civic and an economic perspective. And I want to get it from the perspective of the small man, the little things that people don't hear about. Doc, maybe let's start with you.
Okay. So, I've been very active in the community and, mainly through work with the Jamaican Canadian Association. Everybody knows about the JCA. So I get to see exactly what's happening in the community, and a number of things, as a matter of fact, made major contributions that nobody know about from Jamaicans. And it's something that cannot be quantified. If you look at, for example, what's happening very, very recently, since another couple of days ago with Randy's party, right? Before Randy's decided to close down, aside from the Jamaicans and those who go to the party place, who knows about Randy's party and the kind of contribution that party is actually making to Canada? So in every aspect of Canadian life, Jamaicans have been making contribution, lots of contribution, not just to Canada, but to back home, remittance, barrels, all that kind of stuff. So yes, Jamaicans have always been making contribution. And we're talking about the small man. We're not talking about the persons at the level that everybody knows about.
Right. Captain, you've been on the professional side, and you've, especially serving in the armed forces. People necessarily don't see some of the work that Jamaicans in the diaspora do in that area. You want to share a little bit of your experience, 30 years in that area, on some of those contributions?
We're blessed with people in the military who really give of themselves. We've got a strong presence for people that come from Jamaica. From the JDF, and they come over here and they're saying, we want to continue to serve. As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody just yesterday, and he was talking about when he left Jamaica and he came here, one of the ways that he wanted to give back was to join the military. And a lot of people don't know this, but you've got the military that is your career, and I mean it's your 9 to 5, 24/7 job. But you also have the reserves, and the reserves is where you do it on a part-time basis. It might be 1 or 2 nights a week, and 1 or 2 or more weekends per month. And I find that a lot of us will look at the reserves and say, "Hey, here's an opportunity to give back." Right? We had we're probably a laughingstock of people out west. But years ago, when we had that snowstorm in Toronto, and they called up the army, right? I was the sergeant major for that, and among the team, there were a number of individuals who were Jamaican, and they would come to me and say, "Sir, listen, man, it's cold out there, and we have to shovel snow." But people are giving back. When we got the floods, I can always identify a number of individuals who or from the diaspora that's contributing.
Yeah, all right, that's good. But let's go down the path of whether or not there is acceptance of this contribution and recognition. Usually, they say a king is without honor in his own country. So, Doc, do the Jamaicans see and realize the significance of the contribution of the Jamaicans in the diaspora?
Yes, I think so. I think that especially in more recent time, maybe through the diaspora movement, right? Start having the conferences and all that kind of stuff. The challenge I have with that though is the conference is every 2 years. So at conference, everybody's out there, recognize your contribution. We thank you for your contribution, all that. But once the conference is done, you don't see much of that happening, right?
Right.
What do you think? The contribution. I think there's a definite an effort being made to recognize that contribution. And like I said before, it's not just a repentance; it's the kind of support that you can give, right? Especially in healthcare and education. So yes, I think an effort is being made, maybe mainly through the Global Diaspora Council, previously Jamaica Diaspora Advisory Board, right? Mainly through that. So yes, I think so now.
Captain, let's hear you on that, because you're a part of or an advisor, a security advisor on the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. Is there enough recognition and is there enough movement on that council around the contributions that we're making from a civic and economic perspective?
The key word that you're saying is enough, and enough is subjective, right? For a guy like me, the fact that I was selected to be at the council, that's enough recognition for me, right? Because my position, it wasn't, and it's not an elected position, right? It is a position where I was appointed to the council. So that's recognition. I think also with the advent of or the use of social media a lot more, people are finding out more impact that we're having, right? And the Global Diaspora Council is actually doing a lot more to highlight and identify the impact of the diaspora. So I think there's a great movement. The fact that Donovan, you myself met at where you were recognized for your outstanding contribution, right? Those are things that it's showing that the three of us sitting here right now having this conversation, we're examples of the recognition that we're talking about.
Yeah. Let's go down the path though of the people in Jamaica who are thinking about foreign and how they see foreign and the contributions that come from foreign. Do you think they diversify the view of how we are here and what we should contribute and how we should contribute back to home?
If I should start with that, I would say no, right? And let me give you a quick example. A group of us, we had the Jamaica Diaspora Canada Foundation. A group of us, we wanted to go down and to do some work, and we decided we'd go to a health center to do some work and make some contributions there. But we didn't want to decide for ourselves what they needed, so we asked them what they need. And the list, it was difficult to find anything on that list right now we could actually do. So sometimes the expectations is kind of, is really, not realistic.
Captain, how do you think they see the diaspora and the contributions?
Well, we're a bottomless pit, right? We can provide just about anything, and I don't think the decision-making process to prioritize things, it's non-existent. It's give me everything. So I think one of the things that we need to do is to assist in an exercise that will prioritize things. I'm working on some projects in Jamaica, and every project that I work on, I always go through and I ask, what's the top 3 priorities, right? We're going to get as much as we can, but what are those 3 things that make you lose sleep at night?
Right.
And if you can identify those as a group, then at least we've got a good starting point, and then the rest can come.
Yeah. I'm going to go political a little bit and challenge you, gentlemen, because is there a difference in the perspective of or the actions and expectations of the Jamaican government, for example, relating to diaspora versus the individual man? Are some of the expectations the same and some of the practices the same? Whether we're talking about government or we're talking about the small man?
Kevin?
All right.
Um,
You know what? I don't think that there's a big difference. Um, I believe that, and that the message that I get is this is what we would like, right? And as we go through the conversation, again, just as I said, it was identified years ago that what we need to be able to do is to have an effective decision making process,
Mhm.
right? If we have an effective decision making process, then it is easy for us to say this is what we're looking for, right?
Mhm.
And I believe if you talk to all the different ministries out there, they've got their priorities and they say, well, I want this. Well, there's one Kevin, there's one Doc, there's one Donovan. So if you're gonna come to us and say, well, we want five things, well, each of us can only provide one.
Right.
So as a government or as an individual, um, go through the process and identify those priorities, what and identify what's above the line and what's below the line.
Right.
so, oh, I see this, Donovan. It's similar to what Kevin said. The government knows what we can do, well, or we are allowed to do, or we are permitted to do, right?
Right.
And the ordinary person might not know that, right? There are a number of guidelines if you want to donate, right? And it's going through the government. There are a number of guidelines,
Right.
impossible hoops that you have to go through, right? So they know that, right? Again, like we said, during the conference time, they'll tell you, oh yeah, we're gonna be, making things easy. It's gonna be easy for you to donate, but once the conference is done, that's gone, right? The ordinary person does not know that. The ordinary
Right.
person, you can donate an ambulance, right? And it goes to the hospital you wanted to go. They think you can donate some beds and it go directly there. So that's the difference between the government. The government, in spite of what they say, they know that we'll have to follow these guidelines. Some of the guidelines impose on them, based on IMF and other requirements,
Mhm.
but they do know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I want to shift this a little bit and get some personal perspectives. You guys have been in Canada and you've done well professionally. And I'm always keen on getting the perspective based on your achievement and the recognition you have on the likelihood of achieving and doing the same thing if you were there versus here.
Oh, so I started public health in Jamaica, right?
Mhm,
Did a number
mhm.
of training. I worked with the Ministry of Health in Jamaica for quite some while at various levels, right up to the top, right? And then when I came to Canada, I went to Horizon and I benefited from that training in Jamaica in that it was a 4-year program I went into, and I went directly into the third year because the training I had, a previous training was recognized. So I
Mhm.
benefit from that component. The challenge I had with that, after finishing my training, I went back to Jamaica, right? And with all this new learning, and I didn't get a chance to practice none of what I learned, right?
Mhm.
And that resulted in, I'm getting frustrated, and I left again and I came back, right? So in terms of training, the opportunities that I had here, I would not have had that in Jamaica. And the opportunity to practice that experience, that new learning, I got that opportunity here. I didn't get it there. I was the one who developed the current food safety program in Toronto, for the disclosure program for the posting of the signs. And that's adapted right up a number of places in Canada and elsewhere in the world. And I tried to introduce that into Jamaica, right? The acceptance wasn't there, right?
Right.
So it's I find it much easier doing things here based on your training and experience than I did in Jamaica. I tried.
Yeah. Yeah. Captain.
Uh, uh, my story is a little bit different. Actually, it's vastly different. I came here when I was 10, right? So, um, the Canadian way is all that I know.
Right.
But if I look back at being in Jamaica, I grew up with my grandmother. My mom was here, and we were with my grandmother until she passed. If my mom didn't find a way to bring us here, I definitely would not have achieved the success that I have here, because here I could sit down and I could see people that's achieving things, and I could work towards that, even though it was challenging,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I didn't have those mentors and people to guide me.
Mm-hmm.
But there, I had my grandmother, and I had this man that took care of us when we needed a belt or something like that. But outside of that, it was that was it. So if I was in Jamaica, I don't see Kevin as a successful young man growing up. God would have to take over and make sure that something happened.
Well, maybe it did take over. Look what you achieved, right?
Yes.
And those who are watching, please, if you have some questions, throw it in the comment section. We're gonna have a Q&A, and challenge Doc and Captain here to answer a few questions as well from you. Doc, let's talk a little bit about the generations and passing down the energy and this willingness to make civic and economic contributions as Jamaicans in the diaspora.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that you see happening and some of the things that need to happen to ensure that this train of contributions, more captains and more docs, show up in the future?
So, being a part of a JCA, I'm going to talk about the experience from the JCA and the efforts we are making from the JCA. So that the JCA had a very, very active youth arm, right? It's not so active now than as it used to be, but the whole intent of that is to pass on this, right? To let them see, what they're seen as, we're not going to be around for forever, right? To let them know the importance of making that kind of contribution to the community. So we had that. We work with that. We have a scholarship awards program to recognize the contributions of these young people. It's not very often that you hear about a young person, doing some kind of studies at aerospace engineering, that kind of stuff. You're not going to be seeing that in the newspaper. So we have a scholarship program. It has been going on for a number of years. We have donated thousands of dollars to that program, and it's really to encourage these young persons, to do that. And we have efforts like during Black History Month, we go and we do stuff with the young, especially with younger persons. So let them know importance of giving back, and show them how they can get involved.
Yeah, Captain, what do we have to do to ensure that this tradition continues?
I don't know if you've heard the acronym WIFM.
Yeah.
WIFM is what's in it for me, right? And we have a generation that look at the WIFM. What's in it for me? What am I getting out of it? Within my family, I see that my children, my daughter in particular, she wants to be Jamaican. She said, "Daddy, I'm Jamaican." I see my niece. I'm Jamaican. Born here in Canada, in Toronto. What we find though is the next generation, they want to be Jamaican, but not to give to Jamaica in the way that we did.
Right.
I grew up with my mom taking her paycheck, sending to us, and when we left, she still kept on sending because it was in the DNA.
Yeah.
We are doing some of that, but the stats is showing that each generation is given less. So it's to kind of get them climatized to Jamaica and understand the important role that we play in the diaspora in maintaining things there. And I made sure that my daughter and family got linked up with members of the government,
Right.
because being linked with the government, they can have those conversations
Mhm.
at a higher level than going to a resort and spending a few dollars,
Right.
right?
And Donovan, if I might add to that, through the diaspora movement, there is actually a youth arm. It was our
Yes.
youth
Yes.
commission, so there's a global diaspora youth council, which is
Mhm.
an effort, to really get the youths involved.
Yeah. How do we spread the word about the contributions? And this is for both of you gentlemen. There are so many Jamaicans all across the world, right? In different geographies making contribution. And it's not just about, reggae music or sports, but we don't necessarily hear these stories. Why is that, and what do we need to do to get more of these stories out there?
Well, one way of one way of I know that is being used to get information out there is Dervin Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
He has this program Diaspora Online, right? And how he finds these Jamaicans all over the world doing stuff, I'm not sure. So that's one way I know Durban, tries to do that. Leo Gillen, does the same thing, right? And a number of others, are doing this thing. I remember seeing an interview with persons in Ukraine, Jamaicans studying in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so an effort is being made, right? I'm not sure that well, for Jamaicans, we do stuff not necessarily for the recognition or for being for people to know what we're doing. So, but effort is definitely being made to do that. If I should call a name, for example, in the field of health, with COVID and all of that happening now, right, and a number of research being done along that line, you hear a name like Dr. Hopton Hallin. When you hear Dr. Hopton Hallin, you don't hear Dr. Hopton Hallin as a Jamaican, you're recognized for what he's doing, right? So, and there are a number of others, but I just mention Dr. Hopton Hallin because of
Right.
COVID and what's happening,
Well, the other part to that too is we're Canadians, right? And I'm going to put that in parentheses. The Canadian culture is not to pat ourselves in the back, right? We'll tell the story of the work is being done, and then we'll move on, right? Our colleagues to the south of the border, like they tell the story and said, "We're here. What a Gwaan. We're there. This is what we do." Right?
Loud and proud.
Yes. So and I'm not saying that one way is right or wrong,
Yeah.
but at the end of it, if we want to get the message across, then there's a way to do it. And I'll go back again. We're using social media more than ever before, and every so often, we hear something might just pop it on whatever platform that we're using to say,
Right.
this is what our people are doing.
Yeah. Yeah. We're coming to wrap up. So here's the wrap up question. How do we, if you were to give advice, so somebody's listening and you get a soundbite to help somebody understand the value of making a contribution as a Jamaican in the diaspora, what would those words be to them?
Well, the thing of maybe I would say, we are our brother's keepers,
Mm-hmm.
right? The importance of giving, in spite of how we might live in Jamaica or even here among ourselves, if Jamaica is in need and they call for assistance and we call a rally, people rally to the cause, right? So we are always our brother's keepers, and we should always remember that.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Dr. Nesbitt, he said, it's in us to give.
Yeah. And it's true. And Captain, I'm going to come to you for the last word. And for those who are watching, there's this increased social consciousness in the diaspora that is playing itself out. There's this, I'm going to call her a social media phenom, Auntie Donna. And she's not only known for pudding and the food and the pastries and stuff, but she's known for pioneering a giving mechanism through social media, which has now multiplied all across Jamaica, and hundreds of thousands of dollars are flowing in to help specific causes, from doing an operation for a child, to sending a kid to university, to building a house, to buy a piece of land, to all kinds of stuff. So there's this, almost, Doc, you're saying it's in the DNA, right?
Yep.
Where people can't help themselves, them just do it. So Captain, you get to talk to a couple of Jamaicans who don't get the memo. What do you say to them?
I can only go back to my mother. There's a song, Mahalia Jackson sang it very well. She said, "If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain," right? And if we use that as our model, where we're looking at not how people are going to help me, but for what I've been blessed with, how can I help somebody else? How can I give them a hand up so that tomorrow they're going to have more than what they have today? Got people like us who have been blessed to be successful. How do we reach back and give everybody else, or whoever can, a hand to say, come on up here and see what it's like where I am. That's our responsibility. That's our duty. God has blessed us to bless somebody else.
Awesome. All right. Well, the clock ticks away and we could do this forever. Captain, Prof, thank you for joining us on Gwaan National and sharing your perspectives about, the economic and civic contributions that Jamaicans make in the diaspora. Continue to do your great work. Continue to celebrate Jamaica and your own personal achievements, because I know you guys have done well and will continue to do so.
Yeah, thanks, Donovan. And what you're doing is one means of helping to spread. So it's an answer to one of the questions you actually asked.
Sounds good. All right, guys, take care.
All right, bless.
There we go. A conversation about the civic and economic contributions of Jamaicans in the diaspora as we celebrate Black History Month and celebrate the contributions Jamaicans make all across the world, including here in Canada. Awesome. All right, let's do a little wrap out, and then we're going to have a chat. Yes, Shadra.
Yes, man. Yes, and that's Gwaan. Beautiful. What a beautiful conversation. You know what I mean? Wow. To pick up back on what Captain Doctor says. Listen, you are actually. I was thinking the same thing. I want to thank you for this opportunity for me to be a part of this whole thing that you're doing, because I think it's a vital importance. Even you know, humbly you do the thing very humbly, but this is what I want, and it's big for know, so boy. People like yourself is here to bring the information and to keep the diaspora strong. You know what I mean? It's not like I said, boy, you have to do it. You understand what I mean? It's because, you do have to do it. You understand, but you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to say thank you very much for doing that, and I hope you continue to do that from the bottom. From me as a man, personally, as a Jamaican, directly to you, man. Trust me.
It's part of the calling, I tell you, we all have to find our purpose, and I'm a proud Jamaican, very, very proud Jamaican. And even though Captain said Canadian, yes, I'm Canadian as well, but we never lose our Jamaican roots. And, I want to spread that as far as possible. And I also want to be a positive contributor. I think it's important, especially when we move from a foreign, that we have a mentality that we want to be a positive contributor, right? Because too often, there's this perspective in some corners that, the Jamaican, them can't do this or them can't do that. Yeah. But, look on the two guests that we have, great achievers.
I know. And we're all across Canada. We're all across Canada.
And we have enough of them all about the place.
Sharon Nelson, big up yourself.
Yeah. Big up
Sharon. Another powerful Jamaican. MJ, likewise, you don't know. It's listen, they used to say them take the brightest out of Jamaica. But it is because something is instilled in us. Like, I work in a community service, and we haven't got to work with smile on my face every day. People wonder why or what you're smiling about, I tell us, listen, my predecessors was doing community work for free. You understand? They didn't even get a paycheck and they were doing it every day. So this is a Jamaican thing that we have inside of us, and we always want to give back to our diaspora. We always want to give back to our people. So that's how we grew, and I think that's that's what we have, right?
Yeah, man. We have to just do it, and we encourage everybody to contribute. I grew up watching my parents do it. I grew up a part of it, and I encourage my children to do it. It's fun because they see that example and they want to do it. So we keep pushing and being positive contributors.
What I wanted to say with Captain when he said the children don't really have the understanding is because they don't really grow up Jamaica like we. But if we know people who bring them children to Jamaica when they keep them young over a period of time, and them take up the Jamaican them when we talk about money for God Jamaican thing, they're involved in a part of it.
Man, it's up to man.
Yeah, it's up to we who have to make them know them.
We have to teach them more about White Squall and them something.
We have to teach them.
Well, I mean, not that them have experience White Squall,
Exactly. They have to know that exists.
Yeah.
White Squall.
White Squall, watch me.
White Squall, watch me. Yes. Yeah, White Squall, kill me. Because White Squall, boy, me hungry White Squall. Yeah, boy, me hungry White Squall, kill me. Yes, that's a good one. Ken. Yes, that's a good one.
Sounds good. Well, listen, Shadrach, this has been awesome. Great conversation, and the reasoning was good. And we look forward to doing it again next week. So I'm gonna pull out and we're gonna leave it with you.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yes, Jano. Thank you very much, everybody, for really joining so far on the show, What a Gwaan, and it's absolutely beautiful. Trust me. V Garnet, first time hearing this phrase. Yeah, man. White Squall. If you really know about really hungry in Jamaica, that's White Squall. Tonight we're talking about the economic and civic influence of Jamaicans in the diaspora. We spoke with our guests were Captain Kevin Jr. and Professor Dr. Silvanus Thompson. Very, very, very outstanding gentlemen, outstanding Jamaican men. Bright, beautiful. And we have this thing amongst our brother that when we stay together, we have this bind, Despite what people say across about our Jamaican and what's going on in Jamaica, but we have this love and this care and this togetherness that we share with our friends and family, that we are, even the people that go to Jamaica to visit Jamaica, once they leave Jamaica, they call Jamaica their second home, right? So we have to embellish on that, and anybody in the way you come from, know Jamaican people, you know a person from Jamaica, you know that we're beautiful people and we're people of love. So let's go back to the word of the day. Okay? We need to see if anybody else can send me some comment about the word of the day. White Squall. This is the word of the day. We want some participation. Sean, I never heard about White Squall before. Yeah, man. White Squall bite me, I tell you, my girl. Bitter like a girl. Now in Jamaica, some people face some real hung times, some difficult times, right? And I think this is one of the things that when we carry here to Canada, we recognize the fact that if we have some food in our fridge, our people back home, our family or friends, are just people, our own Jamaican people would like to be able to have some things to sow. This is why we always try to get up and try to help back in the diaspora, because White Squall terrible. First time hearing. Okay, so this is a good one. I want you guys to stay in touch with us every week to hear different patois word where you can learn, especially the ones them who like migrated when time you were younger and didn't get a chance to see and hear enough of the word real Jamaican raw patois. Make sure you guys follow us. Follow us What a Gwaan on Facebook. We're on Instagram, What a Gwaan, on YouTube, What a Gwaan. We're on LinkedIn, What a Gwaan. Make sure so you keep follow us. We want to hear from you. Tell your friends about the program. Let us start. Send in your videos and your clip and say, yo, we love What a Gwaan and That a Gwaan. And we'll put it up in our intro. We'll put your video in so your friends and family in Jamaica can actually see What a Gwaan. Okay, so look, before we're talking about next week now, okay? Next week, What a Gwaan National, we're gonna have our special guest, Dr. Sandra M. Palmer and Jacqueline Edwards. We're talking about defining success as a Black woman. What a beautiful subject next week. Defining success as a Black woman. That's next week. Make sure you guys tune in. I'm still going to be the host. For all of March, I'm going to be the host. Okay, so make sure you tune in and make it a date and don't be late. And then we'll talk about What a Gwaan, that a Gwaan, right? Maybe we can get Donovan online to give me a theme subject about white squall, because you don't have use it in no sentence yet. Film white squall sentence.
Well, everybody say it already, brother. Sometimes things get rough and white squall kill you. I don't know. Hungry bust my shot.
Hungry bust your shot, lead.
Yeah.
Hungry bust my shot.
So if hungry bust your shot, chances are some white squall will reach you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yes.
Are some of the men when they are prison white squall supposed to reach them hard?
Can you imagine? And this the white squall supposed to be.
Worse than them cook what you don't want.
Shauna, make sure you join us next week. We're gonna have another interesting patois for you. Probably another one that you never even heard about, because patois is a fluid dialect, a fluid story. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I really want to tell you thank you very much for joining us tonight. It was really great having you guys. Like I said, the topic was the economic and civic influence of Jamaicans in the diaspora. Our guest was Captain Kevin Jr. and Professor Sylvana Stamso. We want to say thank you very much for joining us and being a part of What a Gwaan, the program What a Gwaan, that it tells us about our information and the information at Jamaica. For Jamaican and Canadian people are free seeing things. So at that a Gwaan, What a Gwaan, right? Want to say big up yourself, MJ. Enough respect for the hard work. See, Donovan one more. Yeah. I want to say thank you very much, everybody. Have a beautiful night. And we'll see you next time. Make it a date and don't be late and stay tuned. I'm out. That's what I mean. I hope it's getting better, you guys.